Welcome to the Startup Grind.
When you walked away from Digg, I mean, how did you feel? I mean, it was your baby. You'd bootstrapped it. You put your own money in from day one, and you were, you know, to everyone here observing it, you were Digg, right? I mean, your face was so tied to the company
for sure
that you know, how was that walking away from that and kind of giving that away? And I know you were less involved well before you actually left, but you weren't CEO and you were still active with product. But how did you feel? How difficult was it?
You know, it was a roller coaster the entire time, because there were so many user revolts on the site. I mean, people will remember the HD DVD key and all these different, you know, where we'd have hundreds of thousands of users like revolting against us and taking over our site and putting crazy things on the front page. And it's like every time that would happen, it's like I would get like another ulcer or something, and it was awesome. And I feel like after 5 years of that, like it just took its toll on me to where I wasn't really passionate about the product the way I once was.
Yeah.
And so I feel like I got a little burnt out. I just needed to kind of reset a little bit, and so I kind of focused on doing some more angel investing for a while until I felt like I could take on and start something new again.
Is that advice you have for founders that, you know, how does a founder figure out when he needs to or she needs to walk away from, you know, from their baby, whether it's been successful or not? But how does one come to that conclusion, that decision?
Well, that's a good question. You know, I was reading that Steve Jobs book, and I think it really, one thing struck a chord with me. He talked about how if you look yourself in the mirror, you know, every single day and you say, I hate this, and you're not really enjoying your job. And if you do that for too many days in a row, then you need to change something, right? And I think I tried to do that. I was like, you know, didn't enjoy my job, and I switched my focus a little bit at the company, and then I just realized like I need to step away from this a little bit so I can get a little bit of you know, perspective, and then help out from a board level. So that's what I did.
The thing that I personally always appreciated about what you did even with Digg V4 was that, you know, there was this group of these users that you're talking about that would give you these ulcers that, you know, and sometimes it was great what they did, but other times even as a user it was like, what the freak is this? You know, and it was just this hardcore group of people, that these super users that would, you know, sometimes kind of take over. And it seemed like what you guys tried to do was just, you know, really take a fresh stab at it and say, hey, we're gonna do what we think is right, and our users may not like it, but you know, we're just gonna go for it. And
we really kind of had to. We had to make some type of change because, you know, it's funny because if you take a look at Digg, at that point in time, it was losing traffic. It was starting to decline a little bit. You know, people were going to other sites, and so, you know, we had to roll the dice and try some big, bold things. I think that we could have done that in a little bit more of a staged beta, where we let people in, let them try it out, let the community give us feedback, and definitely we set it up where we swapped out the back end at the same time we swapped out the front end, which I think was a really bad move, because essentially what happened is we made this change to this new platform in Cassandra and everything else off of PHP, and then we got all this really harsh, bad feedback on some of the features. Some of the features were okay, and then we wanted to make some changes, but we couldn't because our backend was falling over.
Yeah.
And so we had this broken site, this little wagon icon that I still dream about at night. And it's like, it was just by that point, by the time we could actually reverse some of these features and bring some of this functionality back online, it was, you know,
you had to build it all from
we'd already
scratch.
started ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, and the users were just like, clearly Digg doesn't care about us. It's been 2.5 weeks, and we're like putting out fires, and it was just a really bad move.